Hi, this is Miss Nicholas. I'll be your instructor for your AMP2 online course. I wanted to take just a moment and go over a few things so that you're aware of what you have available in Canvas and where to find everything. So when you first come in, your very first module here will be the one that has all of your introductory information in it. Here is a link for your syllabus that will be covered in a second video. In addition to that, you have what's inside. This will give you information about your EText. As I'm doing the syllabus video, I will cover this because if I go over here right now and click EText, it won't open because I'm in the student view right now. Of course, you as a student, once you've purchased your textbook and you have registered online, you'll have access to the EText. Again, I'll show you more of that. So I'm going to navigate back to the modules. And looking for help or tips and how to succeed in this course, have a couple of documents that will give you some suggestions and ideas that you can incorporate into your study to try to be more successful in this course. In addition, there are 3 videos: how to register for Wiley Plus, how to complete your adaptive practice assignments, and how to access the EText. Wiley Plus is the homework system and online study resources as well as your textbook. So you will, once you purchase your book, need to go in and register so that you have the online account. You can download the textbook and have access to it both online and offline. And how to complete your adaptive practice assignments, that is what your homework will consist of. So you will need to go in and watch each of these 3 little short videos that will help you to get familiar with how to navigate the content other than your online lecture content. So once you have gone in and you've registered, you've gone through your adaptive practice and how to access your EText, I want you to complete this little quiz, which is all about really just showing that you've been in and that you can navigate your way through Wiley Plus and give you a few additional tips on navigation. This is due by the 15th. Be sure that you do it. A note here for you regarding the content that you're going to find in the modules of content. So each chapter is a module. Now, you'll find that I will call it one or the other. I'm simply collapsing these so I can show them to you. I may call it a chapter, I may call it a module. It's the same thing when we're referring to the content. So once you have gone through, you've looked over everything, you're ready to go, you'll want to start accessing the content as soon as possible so that you don't get behind. If they are collapsed, you simply click on it and it opens up for you. Each chapter has learning objectives. Please do not look at these learning objectives as a study guide. You will find that it is simply bullet points of the major topics that are found in that particular module of content. Use this as a way to organize your thoughts, but certainly not as a comprehensive study tool. You will be lacking a lot of information. Now, just like if you were in a regular classroom, you have lecture content. All of your lecture content is recorded in lecture videos that I have posted on YouTube, and within each module, each chapter, I have the lecture videos for that module or chapter. So you click for lecture videos, it takes you to YouTube where you have the playlist. So these 9 videos are the short little videos, some of them of course a little bit longer than others, some of them pretty short. These are the lecture videos for the endocrine system. So let's go back, get back into that module again. Alright, so your lecture videos, that's your lecture content, just like if you were in a classroom. In addition to that, you have 2 different PDFs here so that you can have the PowerPoints to accompany those lecture videos. I would recommend printing this 3 per page PowerPoint. I'll open that so you get a quick look at it. This is something that you can use to follow along with the lecture videos because these are the PowerPoints that accompany those videos. So if you print the 3 per page, that gives you a space to take notes as you watch the videos. Again, you're going to want to watch the videos and take notes because this is what your test is going to come from. The 1 per page is much better, so it's the same exact PowerPoints, just 1 per page rather than 3. So this is much better if you are accessing this file on a device, much easier to see. All right, so here you have endocrine lecture notes. Now, again, this is not a study guide, but it is more in depth. So it gives you more information as to what I'm expecting you to understand after you've watched the videos a couple of times. So much longer, of course, than the learning outcomes, so multiple pages. But you can see there's a lot going on each one of these. So you can use this as well when you begin putting your thoughts together and when you begin studying. Do I really understand the role of parathyroid hormone and how its activity affects the osteoclast and blood calcium and how we save that from the urine? Okay, so this again gives you a little bit more information, and you'll have this available for each of your modules as well. Okay, now let's get back to where we were. So that's your lecture videos, your 2 different versions of the PowerPoint, and your lecture notes. Again, you're going to do much better in this course if you use these PowerPoints and make notes while you're watching the videos. All right, so each module also will be linked to the Wiley EText and the content. So when you are studying, for instance, the thyroid gland and you've watched your video, or you want to go in here and read about the thyroid gland before or while you're taking a break from your video, you click this area and it's going to take you directly to the EText. Now, if I click here for the EText, I'm not going to get anything because, again, I am in the student view and I don't have student access to the EText. I have instructor access. But what you will see when you go in, if you click this, you'll get access to the EText. It looks just like a textbook in a printed copy, and you may have access to both. You can highlight, you can search, you can make notes. It will even read the book to you. So a lot of things that you can do with the EText. Now, we're in Chapter 18, Section 7, looking specifically at the thyroid gland. So this is your learning hub. Within your learning hub, you have the EText, but you also have additional content that is related just to 18.7, thyroid gland. So if we click here, it gives us 3 animations. Thyroid hormones, thyroid hormones, thyroid hormones. This doesn't give us information about the pituitary gland because 18.7 is about the thyroid gland. So it's very specific in that the content here is going to be all related to that particular topic. In addition to that, you have additional study resources available up here. If you click out of the Learning Hub into Resources, you see lots more. And again, it's still all related to the thyroid gland, but not just the little animations that we have. You have the EText and an interactivity and also an audio file, but still all related to the thyroid gland. Practice will give you practice questions related to, yep, you got it, thyroid gland. So here you have the 1 question out of, 4 questions total, it looks like, and you have 3 attempts to get the right answer. Okay, so you choose an answer, and I'm not even going to read the question. I'm just going to, bam, select one and submit my answer, and whoa, wow, I got lucky. So if I didn't get lucky, maybe I would have another opportunity to answer that question, and then it would give us feedback on that. All right, so that's your practice, and that is available in each of your different sections, just like you had here with thyroid gland. And Explore gives you a lot more. So in the Explore tab, you have more animations. You have flashcards about this particular topic. You have a lot of different resources here. Now these top ones you see are the chapter resources, so they're all going to be related to the endocrine system. But if you go down farther, you see you've got additional resources. A lot of this is going to be related to lab, dissections, anatomy drills, but there's also some physiology, so animations, lecture concepts, power physiology, a glossary. This is really important. Terminology. If you didn't get a good background in terminology when you were in your Anatomy 1 course, you certainly want to take a few minutes and look over some of this stuff. So a lot of things in here to help you learn. Now, is all of this required? No. None of this is required. These are study tools for you. So let's go back to the endocrine system. What is required? Well, you've got to watch the videos because that's what your test is coming from. And then you will also have an adaptive practice for all chapters. Adaptive practice is your homework. This is for you to go in and engage with the content. Remember back at the beginning I showed you that how to do adaptive practice, okay, how to complete adaptive practice. That's your homework. So after we've covered, after you've listened to the lectures, after you've worked through the chapter, you want to open the adaptive practice and work through those questions. The adaptive practice is your homework and it's basically free points. So at the end of the semester, all of your adaptive practice for all of the chapters together is going to be equal to 1 test grade. So it works out to be about 16.67% of your overall grade. So why not get these free points? It's homework, right? Do the adaptive practice. Now, the cool thing about adaptive practice is I get to set what grade I want you to get simply by getting to a certain point. So I've set your adaptive practice at 60%. Once you get 61%, right, so just over 60, once you exceed 60%, you get full credit. You get 100% on that particular assignment. So go in, do well on these, and get the easy points. Again, you have this same stuff in every chapter. In addition to your content, you can access your grades in Canvas, find out what's due, what you scored on it. There's an area for discussions. We may use that a little bit. Wiley support, if you're having questions about your adaptive practice or your EText or something that is related to the textbook, you click here and you can get help directly from the textbook publisher. Quizzes is where you will access your your exams. So assignments shows you everything. So adaptive practice, adaptive practice, adaptive practice. Now notice just below chapter 20, you've got an exam. So these 3 chapters will be covered on the first exam. So you can access your exams here, or you can go into quizzes and access the exams. Now notice they all have an available date and a due date. Once they become available, you can take this test at any time until January the 29th at 11:59 p.m. That's 1 minute before midnight. Once that due date passes, you will not be able to complete this exam. We'll talk more about completion of the exams and how to do those when we go over the syllabus.